Okay, in this video we're going to see the relations between functions have to the other functions. So this section is considered of two parts, graph and transformations. For the first part I'm going to explain about the graphs only. So I'm going to introduce a questions, so I hope that you will be able to answer these questions because you already passed 11th grade. If not, then that's fine. We are going to review this slowly. Okay, so let's say you are told to graph g of x equal with 5 square root of x minus 4. Since we have learned about point by point plotting also, some of you may consider, okay, let's make the table of solutions, and then from we are going to put the value for the x to get the g of x. So you'll have a table full of x and y value, and then from there you will try to plot the graph in Cartesian coordinate, which is not wrong because that's also one part of the solutions. But if it is told for you to sketch the graph, you want to do it easily. You want to take it from your toolbox and be able to sketch that easily. So I'm just going to provide us the answer, but before I'm doing that, I hope that you can pause this video a bit and then try to consider what the graphic will look like. Okay, have you done? Okay, so this is the answer. So as you can see over here, this is the functions of square root of x, these basic elementary functions that we are going to learn later. And then the blue one over here is 5 square root of x. It means that it has a transformations like 5 times in vertical directions. And then you also have the last one to achieve 5 square root of x minus 4. From 5 square root of x, then it will be translated 4 units to the right. Okay, so this is the graphic. Okay, let's move to the basic elementary functions. So there are 6 basic elementary functions that we are going to learn. The first one is f of x equal with x. The second is x squared. Third one is x cubed. Fourth is square root of x. The fifth one is cube root x, and then the sixth one, the last one, is absolute value functions. Okay, we interested in on the graph. What does it look like? So let's move to the next one. So this is the graph. This is the graph of basic elementary functions. As you can see over here, okay, f of x equal with x, it is a linear functions, but it doesn't it intersect the y-axis on the origin point. So it's like x plus 0. The domain is real numbers. The range is also real numbers. It means that it will be negative infinite to positive infinite. The square functions, okay, the second is square functions. The domain is real numbers. However, the range is from 0 to infinite. Why? Because when you try to plot x squared, okay, positive x squared, you'll have the graph start from 0 up to infinite, positive infinite. That's why it goes like this. And pay attention to the brackets over here. This is the bracket, this is the parenthesis. It indicates that the 0 is also included on the range. The third one is x cubed. The domain is the real numbers, and then the range is also real numbers. It goes to the negative infinite to positive infinite. The fourth one, square root functions. To determine the domain, okay, you also have to look at the range. As you can see over here, square root of x cannot have the range imaginary number, right? So to avoid imaginary number, the domain supposed to begin from 0 to positive infinite. When it goes to the negative, then you'll have like square root of negative value, which goes to the range of imaginary number, and that's not what we want to achieve. Okay. And cube root functions, don't mistaken it as a square root functions. The domain can be real numbers. It means you can put negative over here and the range will also be negative. Yeah, so if you put -1, then you'll have also -1 for the range. Yeah. And then the absolute value functions, it always refers to the distance. In this case, the domain is the real numbers. You can put any numbers, but the range is start from 0 to infinite. Yeah, 0 to infinite. It means it's always above the x-axis. Let's find some applications of it. Find the domain and range of the functions. The first one is f of x equal with -4x plus 12. So here we will have the domain is real numbers. Yeah, this is how you put the real numbers. And then the range will also be real numbers. Yeah, because these are linear functions. And for the second one, we'll have the domain. Since these are square root functions, the domain is supposed to start from 0 to infinite. Now what happens if you start from 0? Imagine 3 plus square root of 0, which is it start from 3. Yeah, it start from 3, and then if the x is increasing, let's say to 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's also increased for the range, so it will be infinite for the range. What about the third one? The third one is the absolute value functions. So the domain will be real numbers also. Okay. What about the range? So take a look. If it starts from 0, then you'll have -5 times 0 plus with 2. So the range will start from 2. Yeah, so it includes 2. And what happens when it is increased, when the x is increased or decreased? When it is increased, let's say if x is 1, then you'll have -5 times with 1 plus 2, that will be -3. It becomes more negative. What happens if the x is -1? If x is equal to -1, this will stay positive and it will have the same result with x equal with 1. So it is -3. What happens if x equal with 1000 or -1000? So you'll have -5000 plus with 2. So it's more negative. That's why the range will be negative infinite. Yeah, over here. Let's take a look on the last one. So for the last one, these are cube root functions. The domain will be real numbers. Yeah, will be real numbers. What about the range? So the range, if you have it like this, then I believe I'll just put the graph. Okay, this is the cube root of x, so you'll have it real numbers also. Yeah, okay, so that's from me.